What is going on, everybody? It is your man, Chris Desir here, and I'm here with.
It's John, man. We in the building. We here today. It's Sunday. Oh man, this is the Lord. I can't even say it right now, man. I'm so excited. I'm happy, man. How you feeling?
Me, myself, been feeling a little bit stressed as of late, but picking myself back up, trying to take it one day at a time. And, like you said, it's Sunday. Time to talk about
Mm-hmm.
Christ, God, higher level stuff. Let's see what we can do.
Hey, stress come from work, man. It's two things that the Lord love: hard work and sacrifice. So, hey, stress is evidence of work. Now, is the work you're doing conducive? Is all your work in vain? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, fret not, brother. I mean, I get it. I get it. We can talk about stress if you want, man. Hey, look. Today, I'm not even going to lie, bro. I don't have a topic today. I just wanted to kick the ball around, bro. Like, know what I mean, informal, organic conversation, bro. Laced with game, astrology, bro. Like, know what I mean, make it. I want to make it relevant. You know what I mean? You have a relevant conversation. You're talking about stress. Stress is what? Saturn, Capricorn. You know what I mean? And that's in that peculiar triangle, bro, of Earth signs. Taurus and Virgo. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but Virgo, as far as Earth signs goes, what I say this is one of the most. It's a ultimate sign. It's not the best or whatever like that, but it's very. It's a very distinctive sign. If iconography and what we see in it within the myths of everything and stuff like that, right? One of the things I was thinking about, like the conversation we have in the genre of astrology we're talking about is astrotheology. Astrotheology. You know what I mean? We're not we can have a conversation about how nature's imprinted on us, and we live in light, and light leaves impression on things over time. You ever left a cup or something? You ever left anything in sunlight and it faded?
Yep.
Light impresses itself on things and people. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm getting at. We're talking about these natal charts and stuff like that and everything. But I want to talk about the astrotheology part. I got two topics. I got two topics.
You still there?
Saturn.
Connection. Your connection cutting out a
You
little
hear me?
bit. Something? Yeah.
Yeah. Saturn, stress, Capricorn, stress within that whole situation going on with Virgo, work, and Taurus. Taurus being how can I put that? We can say resources in general. I mean, resources in general, and people want to say it's money, but that's in there. But I would be remiss to say everything with value isn't just like a cotton infused note of what I mean, whatever. It's significant, it's important. But I've had in my life, bro, where things came to me of value, bro, that necessarily wasn't um, funds. I mean, and I think to me, I think context is so important and how these things go with each other. I mean, Capricorn, stress. Um, that could be that's that when we talk about energy, stress it's kinetic. You know what I mean? Everybody want to talk about energy and manifest stuff like that, but I don't really hear people when we talk about energy. The quality of energy that we're talking about. Are we talking about radiant energy? Are we talking about thermal energy? Are we talking about mechanical energy? You talking about get all deep, mechanics. Nobody talking about no mechanical energy. We're talking about energy. We're talking about vibes. Talking about emotions, one of the most subjective things that humans experience, and they don't even have all context for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk specifics. You know what I'm saying? Like stress is when you're talking about energy. We have a conversation about energy, and we're talking about emotional, psychosomatic issues and things like that. You know what I mean, and even how it affect your cognitive faculties and stuff. People have when they have tension, bro. Sometimes they can't concentrate. When they have tension, bro, they can't focus on things. You know what I mean, concentrating the focus is like, you know what I mean, be able to tune in to be able to get clear, cohesive, clear, you know what I mean, experience of communication, attention, even sitting around paying attention to being instructed or to be entertained. You know what I mean, motivation. Stress could demotivate someone. You know what I mean, fear is a motivator. I would even say stress is a motivator because it's people who work under pressure. That's another thing, another word for stress, pressure. You know what I mean? You know what's peculiar too? What's the sign after Capricorn?
Aquarius.
It made me think about peer pressure. Now, how they say the strongest pressure is peer pressure?
Mm.
It's something to think about. It's just something to think about. But, man, stress is a motherfucker, man. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Because the other thing with that, one of the byproducts to me, as far as I see, is anxiety. And I don't know how anxiety made it to Virgo, but isn't that a nice little trine right there? That's a nice little trine. Stress and anxiety. I keep mixing them up. Capricorn and Virgo, you get what I'm saying?
That's one hell of a trine.
I'm seeing that for myself right now. I mean, because the archetype for Virgo is the worker, also the servant. I mean, the handmaid. It's a form of a messenger. I mean, I think that's where Gemini and Virgo meet right there. Where Gemini, even though it's the twins, it's still another archetype for it is the messenger. The motherfucker who got the little wings on their foot and they running with the scroll. Yeah. I mean, I think it's multiple symbolism for what we're saying. I mean, it's multiple. You know what I mean? They say a symbol is worth a picture's worth 1,000 words. A symbol's worth 1,000 pictures. A symbol's worth 1,000 pictures. It's not just one form and thing. I think people have to. One thing that I'm learning, what people ought to strive for, is to learn how to think abstractly. I mean, I think for me, that's where a lot of people with learning and things like that. A lot of people are concrete and very, very, I guess, rigid in their thinking, very matter of fact, and I guess say literal, but I'm all those things too and stuff like that. But I also I stretch my mind a little bit, and I mean, like for me, I would say myself, I'm a creative thinker, and I think that's an attribute for a person to be able to, you know what I mean, do art. And correct me if I'm wrong, I said before, astrology is an art, right?
Yep.
So you got to be able to be circumspective and be abstract. What am I saying? These signs that we're looking at, they have have different forms. I mean, it's like having a toy box, right? It's like having a whole toy box. You have 12 different type of toys. You got the T-Rex, you got the race cars, and then you got the army man, and then you got the sports ones, and then you got the dog. Then you got all these, 12 different type of toys, right? But they're different types. It's cons and then there's types, right? Cons is the cars, the dinosaur stuff. The types is within the con. What type of dinosaur? What type of car? Is it a monster truck or is it a small, race car, right? So these forms have different kinds and types, you know, and what one thing would look like will be a different. That's I think where it starts to, we're looking at light, we're looking at a spectrum of things, because you could be thinking you look for one thing to be another. Just like when I talk about the money and the resources, stuff like that. You think you're trying to get rich, but really, you really you know what I mean. I think one thing that's essential in life is be able to nourish yourself. Nourishment is towards, right?
Yep.
You're talking about food and stuff like that. So, so all that to say, it's a few things I feel like I said. I'll wrap it up in a nice bow. When you're stressed, it's hard to see outside of the situation that you're in. It's hard to be in the circumspective and things like that. It's difficult to be able to be flexible with aspects of your life, not just one thing. But it affects people differently. People care about different things. People have different lifestyles. People have different capabilities and stuff like that. People have different activities and stuff they do. That's why, like this. I mean, it's beautiful how people are unique in their way and how they're impacted or affected by things. But some of these things that is universal experiences like stress and stuff like that is worth it's worth a conversation and something to explore. I mean, everybody experiencing the form of stress or another, especially past a certain age where you have expectations and implied obligation to contribute to social progressiveness, social maintenance, or whatever it is. What else goes with Capricorn? Responsibility, right?
Yep.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? And what's the second house of Capricorn?
It's gonna be Aquarius.
Okay. I gotta drink some water. Oh, that's funny. I'm drinking water in the car. It was my third house.
And I can say, adding on to that too, as someone who said earlier that I'm going through a stressful situation, a lot of the things he's saying does ring true. And thinking about if you think of the earth signs, which is going to be your resources, is going to be your level of anxiety and your level of pressure that you're going under, or even your stress itself. If you look at what do the earth signs value, is going to be the air signs, right? And coming off that, what does what helps you a lot with stress? Well, it's going to be having friends, because Capricorn is stress, Aquarius is friends. So even talking to another friend, talking to somebody else, talking to an acquaintance, even getting yourself out of that situation kind of puts yourself, allows you to balance the situation, allows you to balance your mind out, because the anxiety is Virgo and the balance is Libra. So now you're talking to friends, you're getting a higher perspective. Aquarius, if you're talking about Aquarius, which is friends, if you're getting a higher perspective, the ninth house of Aquarius is Libra. So you're gonna get
my bad. I got inspired. Let's use a different word, bro. Let's not use the F word. People fuck the F word up. I mean, that slips out from time to time. I apologize to anybody who stumbled upon any other things I've worked on and heard my vernacular, but I'm just being organic today. So, but let's not use the word, the F word. People fuck that up. Friends. Friends is a very, very interesting word in the way the context that is used so much that I think friends could be a dirty word. You know what I mean? Because it's so ambiguous. I don't think that's what we. You know what I mean? I don't think that's it gives. You know what I mean? It don't put that elbow into what we're. It don't give. It's not given. It's not given for what we're trying to contextualize with Aquarius. At least to me, it could be acquaintances and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think it's comrades, camaraderie.
So yeah,
It's some form of collective bond in there. I mean,
we could use the word comrade, or even
yeah.
going towards for stress. Well, even in general, when you have stress, going to a source of knowledge, going to somebody who
Mm-hmm.
knows what they're doing, who can be
Mm-hmm.
a source or a resource to help you get out of that. And once you go to that source of knowledge and you're able to get it, it allows you to balance out the situation. Because when you're stressed, you think everything is tipped against you. I know that's how
Mm-hmm.
I feel things are against me. It makes you feel, and while you're in that state, your emotions get riled up because there's a direct, because your emotions, right? Your emotions is going to be Cancer. The third house, which is how you think, the third house of your emotions is Virgo,
I
which is,
did. My bad. Go ahead.
so you're going to have stress on your mind when dealing with an emotional situation. And the less impartial you are about that emotional situation, the more you're able to take yourself out of it and really structure your mind better. You can do it. And remember, these things can take time. That's one of the big lessons I got to learn. It's going to take time. Don't feel like you have to have everything figured out today. You have time to do it, but you got to have a plan.
Man, hey, bro, bro, so much shit coming on my mind what you're saying. Cause what time is what sign?
Capricorn.
Okay, you said plan. What plans could go into a lot, but the foundation of what a plan is. What sign is that?
I say Capricorn.
Okay, goddamn, it fucks me up, right? Because this whole conversation is all about time in itself. you know what I'm talking about? So, I, oh man, keep going, bro. Keep going. Keep going.
So coming off that, to come to have people understand, planning is something that you do step by step, which is also Capricorn. You're going through the steps of a ladder. And once you start to write down what you're thinking about, what you want to do, it creates a change. Because what most people don't understand is, if you speak about Capricorn, what's the eighth house of Capricorn? That's gonna be, well, no, it's gonna be the sixth house. The sixth house of Capricorn.
Aries. No, it's not Aries.
No, Gemini.
Gemini. See, I was thinking Gemini. We was in the eighth house right there.
Gemini.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to. So the and Virgo has a direct correlation with the eighth house, because anything you say about Virgo, you can say about Scorpio, and anything you say about Scorpio, you can basically say about Virgo. So there's a lot to
You
do
sure
with
it's not the
anxiety.
ninth?
No, it's
For Capricorn to extend it, it have to be the ninth house.
no, because the seventh house of Capricorn is Cancer, so the sixth house would be
Uh huh.
Gemini.
But no, I was thinking about Virgo. You said Virgo was in the eighth house correlation.
No, 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 no. I meant
My bad.
no, no, no. I meant to be um. There's signs of common affinity. There's like,
Okay.
out of every sign in the zodiac, there are 12 zodiac signs for those who don't know. Out of those 12 zodiac signs, um, not there's 10 of them. 10 of them have a direct correlation within one another, which
Mm-hmm.
means how you read one sign, you could read it the same way you read another sign. If you were able to read somebody's chart, if you're counting from their first house being Taurus, second house being Gemini, third house being Cancer, on and on and on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you read it like that, not just you read the sign individually, because if you read the signs individually, they're going to give you different meanings. But if you read it as Virgo is your first house, Scorpio is your second, Libra is your second house, Scorpio is your third house, right? If you read it
Mm-hmm.
like that, and then you read Scorpio as your first house, Sagittarius as your second house, Capricorn is your third house. If you were to read the chart going by Virgo as your first house, and then you were to read the chart going by um, Scorpio as your first house, if you were to read the entire chart out, those two signs are inverses of one another, which means Virgo in the first house, Virgo being in the first house is going to be Scorpio being in the, I think it works Scorpio way. So Virgo's in the first house. Hold on, it's been a little while since I've done this, y'all. But it's like they're inverses. They're inverses of each other. I'll just say it like that. And the two signs that inverse each other, when you read them out through the house system that we're talking about, that's going to be of relevance here, is going to be Virgo and Scorpio. And how do they inverse each other? There's a direct correlation between change and your habits, because habits is Virgo and change is Scorpio. And when you talk about Capricorn, right? When you talk about Capricorn, it takes God can bring a change in your life, because the eighth place of Capricorn is Leo, having light, which talks about what John was talking about earlier, having light and having to make an impression on you. God can really make changes in your life, especially if you stress.
Yeah,
And for you to be able to make that change, you have to think, you have to write, you have to really process sixth house, Gemini, sixth house of Capricorn. You have to really process by making by using your mind to be like, okay, this is how I'm gonna get out of it, and I have faith in God that I'm gonna make it out.
yeah, man. You have to have faith because I don't like using the word hope. Me personally, after I watched Highlander for the first time, and what the protagonist said, hope is for suckers. That really stuck with me. I'm like that was very profound. Like I believe in faith. And faith is, I think, the root of what faith is confidence. You know, I rather lean towards faith than hope because hope is very fickle. Faith is a little bit different. I mean, rest assured. I mean, so that's how I see that. When it comes to the stress and stuff like that, again, I think a lot of stress is a byproduct of work or a level of effort.
Mm,
You know, a level of effort. But I think, you can't just be having misdirected force and stuff out here. You can't just have, some people have misplaced stress. Some people's stress comes from, um, you know, trying to squeeze water out of a rock.
yeah.
You ever saw a baby get stressed, like a little kid get stressed because something isn't working and they're doing it completely wrong? Like they just completely got it all the way, like,
Yep.
yeah. So, um, that's kind of like it's so important to know how to, you know, resolve things and de-escalate things and have clarity in the things, man. Stress, you know what I mean? Stress, that tension, it, man, that's, I keep going on. I could go on with it. I don't want to just, I mean, I want to sit down and think more about, you know what I mean, what I'm understanding about stress and things like that. Because a lot of people need that type of relief from stress. Relief is Pisces, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a thin, well, it should be a thick line between relief and escapism.
Mm,
Yeah, some like some drug addiction and substance use and stuff like that is stress induced. I mean, granted, it's not no excuse. We're looking at it objectively and contextually. Stress induced drug use. And granted, it could be environment, it could be exposure by family, it could be exposure by peers, it could be exposure by what else? What else can I do? Sexual. experiences and things like that. Um, it could be from curiosity or whatever. There's so many things with drugs, with escapism and stuff like that. But what do people say? Drugs, I mean, they make you feel good. I mean, it's a form of relief. And there's not no advocacy for drugs, nothing like that for sure. Like, definitely, you know what I mean, have drugs under supervision, of course, because, you know what I mean, go to a medical professional. You want to, you know what I mean? Because drugs, they're significant to the well being of a person, stuff like that. But that relief, stuff like that, it's euphoria is another word for Pisces, right?
Yeah.
There we go. So that euphoric feeling, all that water like stuff, because we talk about energy again. Chemicals. Chemicals is definitely attribute of water. And we talked about Scorpio. What else we talk about? We talking right now Pisces. What we talking about? Cancer. And something I wanted to discuss too when you said cancer. You said emotions. You gotta be mindful about how we understand emotions. I don't think we understand emotions like we should, bro. I really don't. I don't think we understand hormones and emotions. I'll tell you why. It's because hormones is a 100-year study, bro. And I don't even think we know what hormones look like. I don't think we have any type of images or anything to have us understand visually what hormones look like. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we have models of it. It's hard for me to find it in the book. It's hard for me to actually, get an image of that. I don't think we understand emotions like we should. I really don't. And when you said emotions, I thought about what a mood is. And I started looking at, what words mean, because words mean things. Words do mean things, right?
I'm pretty sure.
All right. So we use the words emotions, and we're using words like mood, feeling, and things like that. And mood fits more for Cancer than emotions. Emotions is kind of like reaction to stimuli, like, it's very fickle and it's very subjective. You know, um, Moods, the octaves, the frequency of it is a little bit more slower. Emotions, they're intense, they're brief. You know, it's like a person. The example of emotion to me is like someone getting surprised by a birthday party or something like that, or an animal jump up real fast and motherfucker get shot. Like, they're in awe or something like that. Think that mood and emotions, they run into each other. They actually are. They interconnect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They intermingle or whatever like that. They have a they have a working relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it made me think, because I was thinking about attitude, what attitude is. And I think in the Black community, we have to understand better about mental health, because I understood that when we use the word attitude, especially 30 years ago, I realized from where I'm at as an adult what was being indicated. What was being identified, or what was being observed when we said attitude? Oh, you got an attitude? Oh, you got an attitude. And it's more, the context of it is it's giving Capricorn. It's giving Capricorn, because in a way that's also a punitive statement. So what do we communicate when we say, oh, you got an attitude? We're talking about not just a mood, but also a person's disposition. A person can be like being in the experience of someone actually telling me I have an attitude and understanding. No, you don't understand that this is an attitude. I'm experiencing the issue or a conflict or problem, and I need a resolution. But this is not even this is a non-conducive. You know what I mean? Non-conducive to how I feel and blah 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 and everything like that. And it's so inconsiderate when someone say I have attitude because you're kind of you're overarching and also incubating and exasperating emotional situation. As far as my experience or how I've seen in my life how you know the context of that social intercourse when you're talking about attitude. People have mood disorders, and people have mood disorders based on. For me, it's a lot of things from what I see. The inability to reconcile, the inability to self-correct, the a persistent concern, the persistent issue, and things like that. Failing to adapt. Um, um, I think mood is conditioned in a lot of times. I mean, absence of an environment or situation sometimes, people move change. It's like having a ecosystem, like an emotional ecosystem. I mean, it's like workplace stress. Outside the context of work or wherever a person's at, they have a whole different thing. Outside the context of you know, outside of a circumstance, a person's disposition is, you know, um, it's, another way to put it is it's like a fishbowl. You know what I mean, the environment for the fishbowl or whatever like that have to be a certain way for whatever is to be persistent. And, the experience of mood is like that. But if the environment's toxic for mood, what's going to happen to the mood? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's some when you said mood earlier, or you said emotions. I mean, who fucks me up right now? I think about it. Right? What's the seventh house of Capricorn?
Cancer.
Right. So stress and mood. That's woo. That's a vicious 180 right there, bro.
And that's why I say there, and that's the thing too. The inverse of Capricorn is actually Cancer. They sit opposite one another, and they're also the inverse of one another. They're the only two signs in the zodiac that actually do that. So yeah, I agree with you when we said we don't fully understand emotions versus our hormones versus the different levels or frequencies that we operate at when we get to those particular points. I definitely agree with that. And it's like to to handle the thing about emotions and how to deal with emotions are just like stress. You you're never going to get rid of them entirely. You're never going to go a day where you're not feeling some sort of emotion. There's no day where you feel completely utterly emotionless, even if you're like a Buddhist monk and you're in the temple all day every day. They still get mad. They still get annoyed. They still
Right.
will feel sad or disheartened or discouraged. They're people just like us. It's just they have a better understanding of controlling their actions under said emotion, under said feeling. And we're not always able to control how we feel, but we can always try to control our actions based upon how we feel. And if you can't get control of your actions, that's going to create even more stress.
Now
And that,
here's something that you said where I would have to put pushback on. Controlling your feelings. You can't. I believe you can't control your feelings unless you understand them, and you can't even then. Sometimes you can't even control it. You can have influence on how you know what I mean, how you express your feelings and your actions. But
right,
if it's like you can't you can't control what you don't even understand. You're not even in harmony, real for real, like that. You can't be. I'm starting to think. You know, man. And the more we have these conversations, make me think about harmony and why harmony is so important, even with oneself. You know what I mean, with a person's mood. And when I'm thinking about this Capricorn thing, now I'm putting Cancer across from it. Make me think about, like, some of these sayings. It speaks to cosmic law and things we say, right? It made me think about stress is a bitch. Stress is a bitch. Capricorn, stress, bitch, Cancer. Why is bitch Cancer? Not because it's a woman. Because women shouldn't be calling women a bitch and shit like that. But women call themselves bitch. That's a whole interesting conversation. But Sirius, the star Sirius is in Cancer. It's a dog. So stress is a bitch. you know.
And that's how it is sometimes. And learning how to manage your stress relievers, things like doing breathing exercises, writing out plans. There's a number of different things that people can do to try to alleviate said stress or get themselves back on a proper emotional system where it's more regulated, where they're not just all over the place. But again, it all is going to take time. It's not every day that you can find a person who can just, you know, deal with all their stresses in a blink of an eye. Like I haven't heard anybody be able to do that. If they have that
Mm-hmm.
method, I hope they can teach it to me. I hope to find that person and they can teach it to me. But it's like managing a level of stress, a healthy amount of stress, because there's a healthy amount of stress you're supposed to be able to deal with, or healthy stresses that come from your work, that come from your labor, healthy stresses that can actually help you do better over time. And there's healthy ways to express your emotions too, to be very comforted,
Mm-hmm.
be very wholesome with your other person, with your fellow man, with a loved one, even when it comes to those things. And coming to understand that it is not something that is a one and done. You are always constantly going to be put in situations that are going to either raise your stress levels or tilt you off your emotional spectrum. And coming to understand what to do when, not if, but when those situations come up and awry is going to be a really good way to help you out.
Yeah, man. Emotions it's an ongoing experience. It's some, excuse me. It's something I'm understanding right now. Just, I mean, given all things considered, emotions is it's a it's an ongoing thing. You experience them throughout, the course of your life. Now, I really think we can stand to understand emotions a lot better. You know, mood and stuff like that. Because I mean, I think one of the most common mental health concerns is mood disorder. So um, I need some water. I'm rapping. I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
Right. And like I said too, like people will have mood disorders, um, people will have fluctuations in their hormones that can create different stresses that affect themselves too. Some people have to be on medicine, take certain medicines to keep their mood in order. And if you are one of those people, or one of those people, that's okay. That's a part of life. Everybody's gonna have their strengths and weaknesses in certain areas that they're dealing with and how to get it done. Um, I could say too that with that having to deal with stress or your emotions, what do people value most when it comes to their emotions? What's the second house of emotional stress or things like that is going to be love. People under emotions, or people, a loved one, or being on a situation. Love is a very powerful effect on emotions, whether it's going to be romantic love, platonic love, familial love. Finding yourself dealing with a situation with a loved one and it doesn't necessarily go the way that you want it to do can be a very big impactor on somebody's emotional state. And that impact can have a positive or negative experience depending on who you are, and coming to realize that if you do need help balancing your emotions or dealing with stresses, look for aid. No one person is an island unto themselves. Coming towards seeing that you need help, and first being aware of that and going out to talk to people or get it resolved is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Either you go to a family member or you go to a therapist. However you will go about doing these things is going to be very beneficial, and I recommend it to everybody to have a person or somebody to talk to.
Got to. And it's a few things, man. You spoke on medicine. I think, if a medication is recommended for well-being, I advocate for that. You know what I mean? It's the bad drugs. You know what I mean? It's the bad drugs. We should be like, You know what I mean? Like we have this opioid epidemic that is real unfortunate, and I don't think that is okay. It's real unfortunate, but these other medical wonders and things like that that actually helps with a person's well-being. I think that's important. It's real important to have what you need. I think one of the things that's important with that is to be able to be nourished. And I think I myself I can stand to work on that a little bit more. Um, one of the warning signs I think will be inflammation, which is important. Um, Tension, headaches, and things like that. Lethargic, being like tired all the time, things like all this other stuff, because your body's trying to compensate for energy that's there. Your body is constantly pushing and pulling blood. Your body is constantly pushing and pulling fluids. Your body's going through. We talking about water. We talking about chemicals. The body, we got all type of chemicals that should not and don't ever leave the body in a person's lifetime. We're seamless. I mean, there's no zipper on our back, so everything in our body is functioning in its where what I mean, where it ought to be. Given the condition, like your stomach acid, primarily found in your stomach, if I'm not mistaken. But you got all this stuff going on, your blood pumping, things like that, all this other stuff going on. Where am I going with this? um, Emotions and taking these drugs, this medicine and things like that to, make sure that you are, I don't want to just use the word stable, but have a form of relief, of some type of tension. Also, like I said, I think moods also based on the environment and stuff like that too. And I think one of the things I think people should do is travel. You know what I mean? One of the reasons why I'm not on camera right now is because I travel. I'm on the road right now, and what it does for you to go somewhere else, just to just to be, it's a form of relief. You know, no expectations. Go somewhere where you just, I think that's a form of relief. Um, I mean, I also recommend if you're not good with groups, don't travel and go in crowds, or if that's not your thing or whatever, go somewhere that fits you. Some people need to go by water, go travel, be by some water. Some people gotta travel and go into some mud, or someone gotta go. I mean, like I think one of the things is, it's interesting. People and nature. It's interesting. How they know the thing they do with each other. I guess. I mean, how the environment affect humans, now even just humans affect humans. You know, it's a lot to think about.
Yeah, that's the and to get things off your mind too, even astrologically. If you have too many things on your mind, or if your mind is actively running, relief is gonna be nature. From that Gemini going to the 12th house being Taurus, that relief for constantly having thoughts on your mind, go out in nature, go out somewhere, go for a drive, go for a quick travel. Um, it helps. I know there's points in my life too where I just needed to just like drive my car, park somewhere, and just go walk for like 20, 30 minutes and come back to my car and then drive back to where I was going because stress was eating away at me. And I had to let it out, get some fresh air, breathe. It there's multiple things people can do that try to handle their stresses. And if you have like deep things going on, try to make it a routine to keep doing these things. Try to make it a routine to put yourself in these places that can alleviate your stress or help you to feel better in the moment while you work out a situation or you go through to figure out what you're going to do to get yourself to a better standing in the place you want to go. This is what I do. I recommend for everybody to go do, even including us here in this call, to do more of it when we can, when you can. Yeah, I say that.
Yeah, yeah. My bad. I got distracted, y'all.
Nah, no problem.
Yeah.
Um, besides that, anything else you wanted to cover?
Nah, man. I definitely, I definitely have to go back and write. You know, this was very inspirational, just for just you know, just to have conversation, and some things I never even thought about. I'm like, damn, that's fire. I would definitely put. I mean, put this on paper.
Definitely, because these talks they do, I enjoy these talks too. We've been doing them for a while now, on and off. Like y'all watching already know, we come back when we can, give y'all some more content. These talks really do help me clear out my mind personally during intense situations, and they help me to keep on track, to keep on going, to keep on realizing, okay, I don't know everything, and sometimes it's okay to just talk about um what's going on in the world, what's going on in your own life, and just ponder sometimes. Just ponder like, maybe it could work like this. I don't know fully if it does, but I'm gonna go in this direction. Let's see where it goes from there.
Got to, got to.
Yeah.
You know.
And with that, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. You see, we switch up the topics. We talk about all
Sometimes we
things.
don't got a topic.
Sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's just all what's on our mind at the time that we want to give to y'all. We human, just like y'all too. We try to make as best of the content that we can, and we keep putting it out there for y'all. And trust me, next time we come back, even if we don't got a topic again, it's gonna be just as fire as it was this time.
Yeah.
That
I'm about to tap out. I gotta do some work.
definitely. And I
So
gotta get myself back on track to get some work.
everybody, stay easy, keep it breezy, breezy. My bad, man. Hey, hopefully the next few weeks I'm gonna have some good news, man.
Me
So
too. Shit, me too.
yeah, yeah.
And hey, we're gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.